Alright, today I'm going to be doing a manual kind of training course, I guess you could say. My good friend Devon gave me this idea basically when he was having questions about driving manual for the first time, which I wish I had somebody to tell me because I just figured it out. But we're going to get into some basic stuff. So first thing, see with this other camera angle, push the clutch in, get a feel for exactly where that clutch engagement point is. You won't really know until you drive it usually, but this gives you a good estimate of how strong this clutch is going to push against you when you're driving, which is a good thing to know, specifically so you don't accidentally stall the clutch or stall the car out because the clutch is too heavy. The other thing I recommend doing, which I don't have a camera angle, is going through your gears. So push the clutch in first, second, third, fourth. So first, second, third, fourth. There's some more techniques we'll get into, but basically just getting the feel for first and second. That's really all you're gonna need right now. For this one, reverse, you pull up on this collar, which I can't see, and then that's reverse. Another thing I forgot to go over is making sure the car is in neutral. Now my car is started already, but first thing when you start the car, push the clutch in, make sure it's in neutral, start the car. This is a push to start, so I don't have to turn the key or anything like that. But the biggest advice I can give people is get a footing. You can kind of see I have a spot in the carpet that's a little bit worn, but when you push the clutch in, use your heel to kind of balance your foot and get that engagement point. So what we're gonna do is put it in first gear, not on a hill or anything like that, and just letting the clutch out. No gas, just letting the car move forward. And there we go. Now we're in first gear. Biggest thing is just practice that a bunch of times. If you can get on a downhill, it makes it a lot easier. Now you want to get going a little bit faster usually. You don't want to crawl from a stoplight like that. So that's where you give it a little bit of gas. Just practice holding the RPM up there and letting the clutch out, and you'll see the RPM dip. And there we go. Now we're off. Now it's a lot easier said than done. Don't be afraid. Don't be discouraged if you stall the car. I've stalled this car a lot of times, so don't be embarrassed. I've stalled this more times than I can count. As you've seen, when I started going, the RPMs dropped. So it is a kind of a dance. You want to be pushing the gas and getting the right amount of throttle control along with the right amount of clutch. Too much clutch and you'll stall it. I don't want to stall it. I don't want to burn up my clutch or damage anything. This car has a lot of miles on it, so I'm not trying to beat on it. But so first gear, and basically just feathering that clutch. And that's what everybody says, feather the clutch. Well, what does that mean? There's an engagement point. As you see, as I'm going, or as I'm starting to go, my foot is staying within a certain amount of area. The clutch has a long throw, but there's really only 1 inch to 2 inches of area that you're actually using. So the rest is just clutch pressure to keep it engaged in the gears. So practice, that's why I said just let the clutch out. Practice where that engagement point is. Get a feel for it. Put your heel down so you can pivot your ankle instead of having to use your entire leg. If I try and use my leg, you can see I'm jerking because I can't hold my leg in that position as I'm getting pushed back from the car accelerating. Usually I kind of feather the throttle. I kind of push it a couple times as I'm accelerating. Sometimes I'll hold it. Like if I want to launch, I'll hold it in that RPM. And now shifting gears, it's simple. It's a lot simpler than taking off. You let off the gas, push the clutch in, shift to the next gear. Now you see it jerked a little bit because I let the clutch out pretty heavily and I didn't use my ankle. Oh, well, we're losing the RPM camera. That's no big deal. So I'm gonna drive on the road. First gear, letting the clutch out. Looks like a manual Miata just passed me. As you can see right there, I did just do a downshift. Basically, you want to hold it in that engagement point right before, kind of like the halfway point, and give the gas, and you'll feel that the car starts to accelerate once the gear is engaged, once the gear is synchronized. Now, a lot of people talk about double clutching and a synchronized transmission, which is pretty much every newer transmission in a car, at least. You don't have to double clutch. Don't worry about double clutching. I think that's just something that the old guys say just to mess with you. So yeah, say you're cruising, I'm doing 10 miles an hour, and I need to synchronize the gear. I'll have to give it a little bit of gas and put the clutch in, and now I'm engaged. So that's pretty much just the basics of manuals. You don't really have to get into too much of the gas control, shifting between gears and stuff like that. It's kind of more of an advanced, I'd say. You have to check the link or the ID card, whatever it's called, right here, and go on to check out my advanced manual course. Thanks for watching. See you later.